Hello and welcome to the Bowler CBT Lab Security Series. My name is Matt Bowler, and in this video we'll be going over basic command line interface setup of site-to-site VPNs on Cisco routers using IPSec. We've got 3 routers here. These are 2600 series routers with advanced security iOS running, and we're going to have this home router set up with the tunnel to the office router, and it's going to run through the interwebs. The traffic is going to be completely transparent as it crosses through the router here in the middle. And we've got my home laptop, which is connected through a loopback adapter. So we'll be testing connectivity from end to end. We will be running EIGRP. Just very basic setup here to get these protocols set up and configure basic routing. Some of the benefits that you're going to see with VPNs are it's relatively easy to implement once you get the structure down and you know what's required. You're going to need to be extremely efficient and mindful when you're implementing these features, because the most important thing is you have to have mirrored configurations on the routers. So the configuration that I input on the home router is almost exactly going to be mirrored on the office router, except for a few changes as far as the interfaces that are being applied with the crypto maps, and when you set the IP for the peer address. Those are very obvious if you have any sort of experience with routing and switching, but you just need to make sure if you're copying and pasting configurations, always double check to make sure that your configurations are mirrored and that you're using essentially the same setups for all of these required elements. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But when you talk about who can use VPNs, you could go out to any, Walmart, Best Buy, any place like that and get a router, and those routers are going to have VPN capabilities. So if you have a home computer and network set up and you have an office at another location that you run, you could easily set up a VPN between those two sites through the internet, and that the data is going to be really very well encapsulated and encrypted, so that the chances of anyone breaking that and getting your information are slim and none. So VPNs, extremely cost effective, very versatile. They're available just about anywhere you can buy computer equipment, and it's really taking over. You see them implemented all over the world and in every scale of network, from a home network to even some of the largest corporate networks. So the required elements that we have here, we have IKE phase 1, and you'll see as we go through and set it up here, but I just wanted to show you this so you can get a view here. We're going to have to obviously have a remote peer, so that would be the home and office networks here are going to be the two peers. Key distribution method, that's the Diffie-Hellman group. And next we're going to have the authentication method, whether we'll be using a pre-shared key or a certificate. In this example, we'll just be using a basic pre-shared key. You're going to need to determine the encryption algorithm. That's either use DES, triple DES, or AES. You're going to need to select the hash algorithm. We'll be using SHA in this example, and we'll be using AES for the encryption algorithm. And you'll also need to set up a lifetime. For IKE phase 2, we'll be configuring the transform set. We'll be including some peer information, and we'll be setting up an extended IP-ACL to define what is literally called interesting traffic. And that interesting traffic is what the router is going to see and determine, okay, I need to to go ahead and process this, encrypt it, encapsulate it, and shoot it across the network or through this IPSec tunnel. Any other traffic which would be hit by the implicit deny is not going to be encrypted. And we will show that on some end-to-end pings and tests here. So I already have the office and the interwebs router set up. I'm just going to finish the configuration here and test basic end-to-end connectivity before we get into the VPN setup. So I'll bring up the home router, and I have interface fast Ethernet 00 is connected to the interwebs. So I'm going to go ahead and configure that IP address. Go ahead and do a no shut on that. And I'm going to configure the interface that's connected to my loopback adapter that's running on my laptop. So 172.16.1.1. And it's only a 10 meg connection, so we'll do a no shut there. Do a show IP interface brief, just to verify that our ports are up. And I'll bring up my computer here. You can see the adapter is set with the 172.16.1.10. And I can reach the router there, so that's a good sign. Now I'm going to go back into the router and configure our EIGRP. Going to advertise these networks. And you can see the neighbor adjacencies are already beginning to change. So if I back out here and do a show IP route, I should be able to see all the way to the other end here. See, this is a 172.16.2.10 address, and I can see the two networks. So I should theoretically be able to ping end to end here. And there we go.